This week, New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced that the country had eliminated the coronavirus, but warned residents must stay vigilant to keep it that way. Next door, Australia has seen comparable success in battling the virus. Nick Schifrin reports on how these two Pacific nations did it.
Johnston and Liana.
On the day life resumed, the first thing Kiwis wanted was coffee.
Oh, amazing. It's never tasted better.
So stoked.
Honestly, it's so good to have a coffee.
For more than a month, New Zealand endured one of the world's strictest lockdowns. Today, the government partially lifted the lockdown and said it had, quote, eliminated the virus. 400,000 people went back to work.
I've got bags of goodies that I'm dropping off to people's houses.
And New Zealand researcher Alex Zur filmed herself delivering this massive haul of homemade groceries to friends.
Whilst I can't physically make contact with them, it's nice to be able to have just a little bit more chances to leave your neighbourhood and provide things to those who need them the most at the moment.
New Zealand's had less than 20 coronavirus deaths, and in the last week, single-digit newly diagnosed infections. Today, the reopening was announced by the country's symbol of success and vigilance, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern.
There is not one point in time that this mission ends now. Yes, we have done that in lockdown. The goal now is to keep up that work. So we're now in the next phase of the battle and we are not done. Evening, everyone.
Ardern's known for a personal, empathetic touch, including after the 2019 Christchurch mosque attack that killed 51 people. During the coronavirus crisis, between press conferences, she took to Facebook Live.
Many of you, of course, will have got the message from Civil Defence Systems this evening, the blast of the horn on your phone, and then some messages that we're really keen for everyone to stick to as we go through the next several weeks at home.
Compassionate leadership based on good science and good advice was really a very powerful combination here.
Colin Tukuutonga is an associate professor of public health at the University of Auckland. He acknowledges that New Zealand's success comes in part from its small size and isolation, but he also says it elevated public health over economic concerns.
We were single-mindedly focused on public health first. In fact, our former Prime Minister, Helen Clark, was basically said, you can recover from a damaged economy, but you can't recover if you're dead from COVID-19.
Next door, Australia has also had success. Australia's Conservative Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, has worked with the progressive Ardern and issued early movement restrictions. He communicated clearly, relying on science and stark warnings.
There are no guarantees, I want to stress. This virus writes its own rules, and we have to seek to try and understand them as best we can and respond as best we can to the pressures that we face.
Morrison's response has been a political recovery after he stumbled during Australia's worst ever brush fires. Tukuutonga fears the U.S. is stumbling today.
In terms of the leadership for the nation and for the world, that the U.S., as we have known it, isn't showing those leadership required for controlling the pandemic at home, but obviously in terms of communicating to the rest of the world.
But the Kiwis' steps clicked, so even tourists trapped in the country because of border closures were happily stuck.
I actually feel like I'm in the safest country I could be in the world. It feels like a safe haven. It feels like they've done things really promptly.
We're a small place at the bottom of the world, but nonetheless, I think on this occasion we seem to have done something right.
And maybe have some lessons for the rest of the world.
Yes, I think so.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nick Schifrin.